Helen Yee here in Anaheim. Always great to be joined by the one and only Mr. Beneil Dariush. First off, great to see you, and I appreciate, what is this, a cup of goat milk?
Raw goat milk, so a little different. They say it tastes like breast milk, but,
Really?
I wouldn't know.
You sure you wouldn't know?
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I just know it tastes very good.
Okay, I don't think I've ever had raw goat milk. I'm kind of nervous. I can eat chicken feet, but it smells like nothing.
It doesn't. It's, in my opinion, it tastes better than regular milk, but everybody's got their own opinion. It's very smooth.
Yeah, it's like thick at first and then kind of watery.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense because the cream rises to the top.
Oh, yeah.
So you're getting the cream first, and then you're getting the more of the milk.
The aftertaste is distinct.
Yeah. Well, I figured you would actually appreciate it more than Schmo because I saw the way he eats his steak, and I was a little embarrassed for you. You need to have a talk with this man. We cooked him a steak. Okay, I understand blue's a little bit too much, but first of all, you ate all of your blue steak, which was very good. But he ate like a third of his steak, and he cut the rest of it up and gave it to the dogs. Like, he can't handle the fat. He can't handle some ligaments. Homeboy can't eat anything. Poor guy.
Homeboy losing weight by the minute.
Yeah, you gotta you gotta be like, hey, if you were starving and you're in a third world country, you're going to just toss that to the dogs? No, you're going to eat that. So eat it now. That's how you make them gain weight.
You're right. So next time we come here, should I make him eat the medium cooked steak or medium rare, or should I try to teach him to eat it blue?
He could eat it well done for all I care. Just make sure, you finish your steak, for goodness sake. Also, that being said, since you eat chicken feet, you should bring some chicken feet and have him eat it. It'll put some hair on his chest, as they say.
But I'm still thinking about...
He's showing me his chest hair. I got you, bro. I got you. It's a metaphorical thing. I see all that chest hair. Very impressive.
Put the shirt down.
Please.
TMI. But I appreciate this raw goat milk. It is actually really good. I'm so intrigued that you said it's like breast milk.
That's what I've heard. Well, I don't know if as far as taste, but for like kids, because my kids drink it as well. But it's supposed to mimic most like breast milk, and it has more colostrum, for example. Yeah. The protein's easier to digest, so that's why. That's what I meant when I meant it's more like breast milk. I didn't mean like taste.
It's better than normal milk, whole milk?
According to studies, as far as colostrum goes, it has more colostrum, and it's easier to digest. As far as it's better, you would have to look at the data, but I think so.
Yeah, well, hey, you mentioned the Schmo's hairy chest earlier. Speaking of hair, you have a lot of hair as well. Always great to see you. How have you been?
Good. Obviously, it's a time of recovery for me since I'm coming back from 2 losses. We've spent a lot of time just grappling and doing a lot of like mitts, but no actual sparring. I get to start sparring next month and see how everything's holding up, how my timing is, how the body is, and basically if I can take a punch. And if I'm doing better, we could start moving forward and into basically scheduling a fight.
And I know you've been really busy at your gym, right? Kings Anaheim?
So we got this new big gym opening up hopefully within the next 10 days. And it should be way nicer than the one I currently have. Current one is about 2,500 square feet. This one will be about 10,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Ideally, I'd like to toss like a coffee shop in there and a smoothie bar. Yeah. And, for the public, sure, but mostly for myself. I'm a big coffee guy and smoothie guy.
I know you have quite the coffee setup over there. You have a coffee bar with goat milk.
Yeah. I am a coffee snob, unfortunately. Like I never thought I would be. I didn't start drinking coffee till my late 20s. I went to Australia. Best coffee I've ever had, and just from the smell, everything about it was different. So I tried it. I really liked it. Came back to the States, tried coffee. didn't really like it. And then I understood it has to do with the roasting process, the bean, all that stuff. So I wanted the same experience I was having in Australia back home. So I started really looking into it, and the more I looked into it, the more of a snob I became. It's really unfortunate.
Well, I love coffee too, so I don't think it's unfortunate.
I mean, think of it like this. When you Google coffee or you look at Yelp, whatever you look at, your options go from 100 to like 3. So that's what I mean. It's unfortunate. It's like, oh yeah, coffee, I'll drink some. Nope. It's got to be this. It's got to be that. I annoy myself when I think about it.
Well, is dark roast better than light?
There's no difference in terms of caffeine content. People will say if it's darker, there's more caffeine, or if it's lighter, there's more caffeine. There's some studies that actually say lighter roasts have more caffeine, but really, I will say this, in terms of the polyphenols, I think a lighter roast is healthier.
So do you drink a lot of coffee before you train?
I actually don't like drinking coffee before training because I don't really drink coffee to wake up. I drink coffee because I'm like, oh man, it smells good, it tastes good. So I rather do it after training. I'll have some like really bitter chocolate and I'll have some coffee. That's an ideal coffee treat for me.
Yeah, hey, that sounds great to me. Like a post-fight.
Post-training.
Post-training.
Post-fight is just like you just eat the most disgusting stuff you can think of. You know, all the stuff you've been skipping out on that you can't eat. You're like, oh yeah, ice cream, I want all of it. Hamburgers, all of them. Fried chicken, all of it. And then, you know, within 30 minutes you feel sick.
But it's worth it for those 30 minutes, you know.
Yeah, I mean, those are probably the best 30 minutes.
I don't blame you, but I know you told the Schmo about, you know, when you hope to return and maybe some possible opponents. So hopefully we'll see you back in there soon.
Yeah, I would love to be able to do it like in end of summer. If it takes longer, okay, you know, I get it. I'm kind of in a tough spot, but ideally for me would be end of summer.
Well, hey, they're going back to Australia end of summer.
Yeah, don't tempt me. The only issue is Australia. I'm going to sound like Sean Strickland right now, but those freaking nutballs are trying to charge me so much tax. Just like Canada, too. Like, chill out, guys. We're bringing work. We're bringing profits, whatever, finances increase when the show comes there. Why are you guys taxing me so much? So that's the one thing I'm not a big fan of as far as fighting in other countries. They don't mess around. I remember fighting in Singapore, and it's gone as soon as you get paid. It's a stab in the heart for sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it's okay. You live and you let go. When it comes to money, you know, money in, money out is the way it goes, I guess.
Yeah, and my dad always says you can always make more money.
That's right. That's if you're not lazy and disciplined. But if not, then no, you can't.
Yeah, well, speaking of making money and good fights and titles, there's always exciting fights in your division, 155. But it looks like two people who have fought before kind of going back and forth right now, Islam and Arman. What do you kind of think of that situation?
I mean, that fight makes the most sense right now. That's the fight that they should have next. I know it's not the fight that's happening, but Arman Tsarukyan clearly has become the number one contender, and I think it's a challenging fight for Makhachev. I would still favor Makhachev, but you know, that's the fight to make. You know, if I don't care if it doesn't bring as many eyeballs as you think, or you don't want the fight for whatever reason. That's the fight that needs to be made.
But Islam has publicly said his, you know, desires and goals to eventually try to fight for the 170-pound title as well. Who do you think is most likely to be the next, like, double champ in the UFC?
If the UFC is still big on this double champ thing, actually, because Makhachev, I think he's definitely skilled enough. But I think Leon Edwards is no joke. I think I'm trying to think which one's more likely. I think O'Malley has a really good shot if he fights somebody like Ilya, because it's going to be more of a striking battle. But also Pereira. If he goes to heavyweight or even back down to 185, he's capable of winning in those two divisions. So I think he could. Obviously, I think it would be much healthier for him to go to heavyweight, but I think he has the ability to do that, become double champ, because depending who he fights, the power that he carries seems to it transcends divisions. It's crazy. The man has so much power. So even at heavyweight, I think he could definitely do some damage. But I think you also need to have a favorable matchup. I think Tom Aspinall with his grappling isn't so favorable for him. But, I mean, I think he does have the ability to be double champ right now.
Should be fun to watch.
I would love that fight. I would love to see a lot of striking. I find the more I watch Pereira, the more I find his striking so fascinating, because how methodical he is, how long he takes to set something up. Yeah. I mean, against Jamal Hill, he took so long to set up that left hook. He threw 4, 5 jabs to the body. He did so many feints, and that's what brought down, I want to say, Jamal's right hand. Yes, it brought down his right hand, and then boom, the left hand landed. So, he's very methodical, he's very patient, and super impressive.
Yeah, well, you mentioned Leon Edwards earlier. It looks like, most deserving for sure, Belal Muhammad, for that title shot. So if that does get made, coming up, who do you think wins that fight?
I got to train with Belal. Very interesting thing about Belal is he's not bad anywhere. Technically, he's good in all positions when I was grappling with him. But what really sets him apart is his pace. I wasn't in the best shape, but I was going with him, and I'm like, this guy does not slow down. This guy does not stop. And I was like, man, I want to say I did either 2 or 3 rounds with him. I don't remember exactly. I just remember at the end of each round, I was like gasping for air. I was like, oh boy, this guy's got a tank on him. And so that really stood out to me. And I think if he can use that well, meaning he can game plan where he wants to be, positions, and actually apply those things, I think he has a really good shot of winning the fight. That being said, I think I would favor Leon Edwards. I think Leon Edwards right now, he's so dominant.
Well, there's always so much going on. A lot of exciting fights. What better way to talk fights than with raw goat milk / breast milk?
I don't know about the breast milk, but raw goat milk for sure. With Schmo being around all these fighters and now possibly start drinking this raw goat milk, his testosterone has definitely been going up. Do you think he's gonna start wanting to fight? Honestly, and if he does, who would you like to see him fight?
Dang, Beneil switching it up, turning the heat on to me.
Questions in. I'm asking one.
That's the $1 million question. Would you like to see him fight?
Well, give me some options, and then I'll tell you.
Fans, maybe leave a comment who you think or would like to see the Schmo fight,
Right. The fans, you know what I've noticed? Fans know a lot more than I do when it comes to sports in general. So I think that's a great question for the fans. Who should Schmo compete against? I use the word compete because we don't want to use the word fight. I don't think fighting is really in their ballpark yet.
And I always appreciate you. I know your dogs are falling asleep. They're really cute. Thank you so much for the hospitality, like always. But for your fans who love you and miss you and can't wait to watch for your return, what would you like to let them know?
Hi, baby. I'm putting in the work now, so next time I come back, there's that shine, that's back. So that's kind of the plan right now. Work hard, and then the fruits of it will show later.